Hi there, it's Mike again from ATB Guitars, and I'm just doing a follow-up video to our previous video entitled We Discovered a Burst. There's been lots of response to this on the forums and on YouTube comments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer a few questions which have arisen out of our last video, and I'm going to explain to you what has happened to the burst since we made that last video. So I have a few questions here. The first one is, we've had quite a few people ask us, what do we mean by uncirculated guitar? There's been a bit of confusion because uncirculated is not the same as unplayed. It means that the guitar has not been through many hands of dealers, owners, ad infinitum. It's been with the one single owner for a great length of its time. And in this case, this guitar has been with the same owner since 1967. Now, it's uncirculated. Well, technically, it was circulated in 1967 when it was sold. We don't know the history prior to that, but since 1967, it's never been on the open market, it's never been with any other dealers, and it's never been for sale anywhere else apart from a couple of weeks ago with us. I hope that answers that question. Second question we have is from Glenn Evans on YouTube. He says, great story, I'm enjoying your channel. I hope the money serves them well. Did they get a good deal? So we've had a few people ask us about, did they get a good deal? So I cannot go into the exact financials for reasons of privacy with the people who had the guitar and for people who might want to buy it in the future. But all I can say is the person came to us, we had a look at the guitar, and we told them straight up what it was worth in today's marketplace for a guitar with those issues, i.e. one which has been big speed, it had extra holes, it had a broken bridge, it had a pickguard with a hole in it, the pickups have been on and off and re-spliced into the harness, the fingerboard was dry, which is mainly cosmetic, it needed a refret, it needed various repairs, but despite that we said to them it didn't have any real value killer issues like finish or structural repairs. So we gave them a true market appraisal of what that guitar would be worth if it was sold today. We then gave them two options. We said we would be happy to sell it for you on consignment. I'm sure you know what that means, but for those who don't, it means that we sell it for the best price we can and we take a percentage of that sale. The second option is we also gave them a cash offer if they preferred that option. Now, they were armed with all this information, which we were very straight up about. They went away and they thought about it for 3 or 4 days. And after 3 or 4 days, a deal was struck between us, which left everybody happy with it. Nobody was ripped off and everyone felt happy with the deal that had been arranged. So that's about as much detail as I think I can go into. If you look in some of the comments, there are some more specific numbers mentioned, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to mention the specific numbers, but they weren't ripped off. So, Chris Wallace 85 from YouTube says, amazing find, great video. So did the owner just stop playing altogether? Now, when I made the previous video, I made a mistake. He didn't stop playing in the 70s at all. He bought the guitar in 67 and he played it heavily, i.e. 3 or more nights a week, pretty much all the way up to the 90s. In the 90s, he stopped playing guitar and he did something else with his life. he left the music scene altogether. Now, in the 90s, before he retired from the music scene, he had the guitar valued by a London music store in the early 90s, who told them it was worth £4,000. That was his appraisal. So armed with that information, he added that value to his household insurance policy. Then he put the guitar away and didn't think anything more of it until recently, which is when we got involved with it. Okay, right, so this one's quite amusing. We've had a few people ask us, is this bino? Well, it would be nice if it was, but unfortunately it isn't. It is obviously of the same vintage as bino, but bino has a different figuring on the top. In fact, I believe bino has hardly any figuring whatsoever. This one, when you look at it, does have some quite nice figuring. It's not massively flamed, but there is distinctive figuring which you could fingerprint a guitar top from. This one is definitely not bino, unfortunately. Also, bino had a double white in the neck and a double black in the bridge, unlike this one, which has a double white in the bridge and a zebra in the neck. Pickups can be changed, that's taken for granted, but this one, going by the lack of figuring on the top which bino has, I don't think it's the same guitar. And I think if it had been the same guitar, we would be inundated with people with all sorts of claims to it, etc., which we haven't. So hopefully that clears that one up. And a final question here from YouTube, from George105. He says, wow, to be a custodian like that must be a complete honour. It was, I can assure you that. Looking forward to its progress and actually hearing it. I wonder if JB has got wind of it yet. He also asks, has the guitar got a name? Well, to answer the last bit of your question first, we've temporarily given it the name of Dirty Burst because that's how it came to us, in a pretty filthy condition. So we've called it Dirty Burst on our website, and the new owner can choose to name it what he likes, but for the time being it's called Dirty Burst. Okay, as to the next part of the question, which says, has JB got wind of this yet? Well, JB, by the way, is referring to Joe Bonamassa, who, for those who don't know, which must be very few of you, he's a brilliant US guitar player who is also known for his vast vintage guitar collection. So, has JB got wind of it? Well, the next video we're going to do after this is going to document exactly what has happened to this guitar since our first video, and we're going to take you along with us and show you the next stage of this guitar's life, which I think you will find quite interesting. So please like and subscribe if you can, and don't forget to ring the bell, and stay tuned for the next video on this amazing 1960 burst.